Today we'll be looking at shares, dividends, and taxes. Shares, dividends, and taxes. Some people, when they hear, they say, they want to share with us. Yes, we want to share with you. But the main thing is, before you will take your own share of of what is being shared, let's know the meaning of shares. First of all, a friend of mine, Mr. Desbel, he was a business mindset kind of a human being. So he loved things. He loved making things happen. He loved making people know that he's around, he can change the area, he can do what can make life go on with him. So one day he was a painter, or he's a painter even presently. So, but he was reasoning beyond his craft, his handwork. So what he said, as a painter, if I continue to paint from people, if the paint that is being sold to me is bad quality, and I've used it to do work somewhere and the work is not the way it's supposed to be, it will give me a bad image. I think the main thing is let me start producing my own paint myself. He said, I said, okay, fine, it's a good idea. Just that I'm not a painter. I didn't know I'm a painter, I would have reasoned the same thing you are reasoning, some way you are reasoning. So he said, okay, he doesn't know, but he doesn't have the cash. I said, yeah, but I don't know, you can take loan, anything you know that can bring money on board for you to start a business. I think it will be a good thing. There's a reason that, okay, there's something someone used to tell you. It's not everything you want to do that you have. Sometimes, at the cost of doing those things, other things will come. It is not against the scripture to owe. It's only against the scripture not to pay. So, owing is not a debt. You can even take loan and set up a business. You pay back later. I say, yes, it's true. But make sure you take the amount and you'll be able to pay. He says, yes. Since it's for business, you'll be able to pay back. So he said, okay, what he has in mind is, let me get a list of the things I need, how much is needed. Then he invite one or two persons, friends, business associates, and whatever, to invest in his own business so that he will be able to start off from there. We discussed it over and went to. So the following day he came with a list of those things. He said he needs some money, a huge amount of money that I can afford, now I can't afford. So he said, okay, what he will do is he will just meet one or two persons, not just one or two persons, meet people, this amount of money, let them invest in this business that he's trying to bring up. So that after the business, the profit that he's gotten from the business will be shared among all of them based on percentage. So he said, okay, this amount of money now, let's see how we share it. He said, okay, now I say that I might share the money into 10 places or 20 places or 30 places. I say, in as much as it is up to the amount that people can afford. People will patronize you, people will buy. They said, okay, let's say starting with 20, I will share the money like this, like this. If you want to buy two portion of whatever, you buy. If you want to buy 5, you buy. So each of these will cost 15 kobo. This one 50 kobo. You share it in 50 kobos. So that if you want to buy, if you feel that you have money, you can buy. You can just buy more. Give you the money to do the business. If you want to buy 5, you can buy 5. If you want to buy 10, you can buy 10. Now, when you pay the money for the 10, there is an agreement that is being signed and kept that this is the money you invested in the business. So that when the interest is coming or when the profit is coming, you will know that you will request for 10 persons or 20 persons depending on the number of shares you bought, interest or profit. So based on the percentage that we share, how much you will get determines on the number of shares that you bought. So he split the money and people bought. I couldn't buy much, I bought only one anyway, but it's not easy. So he sold them, used the money, and started up his business. So when he started the business, after some time, the time that he was supposed to start the business, he was supposed to end it, the time got there. He sold everything, business he even did as in turnover and several times. So when the time got to the time, he returned everybody's capital, the money that was used to buy the shares. When you will buy the shares, as far as the business time has expired, they will give you back the money used to buy the shares. Then the profit that came out of it will be shared among all the people that bought shares. So he shared the money. So the money that was used to buy those things that made the guy to start a business is called shares. It's called shares. Now, these people after the business, they said, okay, let us sit down and think of what we are going to do with this benefit that we have. So, first of all, these shares that were sold, let us check if it were you. For example, Mr. Market now sells shares. Yes, I know that some people, when they see multiples of 100, it will be as if um, we are multiplying the shares by 100 or whatever. But first of all, what this question means is the shares were sold in hundreds. So the number of shares that's supposed to buy, you cannot just buy only in tens or units, you buy them in hundreds. So find the cost of 800 shares if one share costs 50 kobo. Now, Mr. Michael is now a businessman for the sake of this class. Mr. Michael now sells 50 kobo shares in multiples of 100. Now, find the cost of 800 shares. This 800 is the multiples of 100 that we are talking about. 8 is what? 800 is multiples of 100 because it is in 8 times. So, find the cost of 800 shares if one share, if just one of the shares costs 50 kobo. Now, let's see how it's going to be. Solution: cost of one share equals to 50 kobo, which is half naira. We all know that 1 naira is equivalent to 100 kobo. So we know that 50 kobo is half of 100. And since it's half of 100, that means it is half of 100 kobo. Now, number of shares sold. Is equals to 800 shares. Now, the cost is equal to half multiplied by 800. Remember that this half is standing for 50 kobo. So, which is equals to 1 all over 2 multiplied by 800 all over 1, if you like. This will be equal to 1 times 800 is 800, if you like. You can say 2 cancel 2, 1. 800 divided to 400. What we have here left is 1 times 400. I'll note that any number divided by 400 is 400. So naira. So that means 800 shares at the cost of 50 kobo, 800 shares can be bought with 400 naira. I believe that is so simple enough for us to understand. Now let's see the second part of the question. B, it says, how many shares can be bought with 1,500 naira? If at the cost of 50 kobo, 800 shares can be bought with 400. Because the first question there says, we did not know how much. We don't even have the money. Now, what we could find, we know how many shares I was to buy. I was supposed to buy 800 shares. Each of the shares cost 50 naira. But I don't know how much I could use to buy those shares. Now, the question that is saying, the question said, how much will I go and sort for to come and buy those 800 shares? So when I said, okay, since one share is 50 kobo, and 50 kobo means half of 100, that means half of 100 also means half of 800. So we know that half of 800 is what? 400. So I went out, looked for the money, I got the 400, and I bought the shares. Now, the question now is saying, since I have bought the shares now, another person wants to buy. Now they're asking, how many shares can be bought with 1,500? Now, in this case, this person now has 1,500 naira cash. Remember me, I was not having. It was when I checked that I went out to look for the money. But this person has the money. But he wants to know how many shares he will buy with his money. So we say solution. Now that this guy has his money, 1,500, please, how can I buy money with buy shares? How many shares will I buy with this money that this 1,500 that I have? I have this 1,500. How many shares will I buy with it? We said, okay, 1,500 or number of shares, one share equals to 50 kobo. Then 1,500 naira multiply 1 all over 2. This one also all over 1. Now, what will happen is, we know we did our fractions, in the multiplication of fractions, the denominator, the fraction will supersede. The denominator becomes the numerator, while the numerator becomes the denominator. So this one becomes equals to 1,500 when you cross multiply by 2 all over 1, which is equal to 3,000 shares. So when they are in with the money, we said, okay, each of the shares costs 50 naira. Sorry, 50 kobo. And you have 1,500. So now, in this case, we don't have to divide. We need to multiply the money because the money is huge, more than the number of shares, and more than even the price of the shares. So let us multiply 1,500 by that they have, so that when the fraction is somersaulting, 1 will go under, while the 2 multiplies 1,500, it gives 3,000 shares. So that means with the 1,500 naira, you can buy 3,000 shares. So that is how any company you hear that sells shares, the money you give to them to buy those shares is still your money. You are investing it. Now, after they are done with the business, they will give you back what you have from inside. So now, for example number 3. profit on each share is 20 kobo, comma, how much profit will someone make with, or when he or she buys 50 shares? Now, this one now is looking for the profit. The first one looking for how much to buy how much to buy 800 shares. The second one says, I know how much I have 1,500. How many shares will I buy? Now, the third person is saying, I have the money. I want to buy the shares. How much will be my gain? If each share is sold at a profit of 20 kobo, how much profit will I make if I buy 50 shares? So, in this case, you will say solution. Profit on one share equals to 20 kobo. Profit on 50 shares is equals to 20 times 50, which is equals to 1,000 kobo. Converting this 1,000 kobo to naira, it gives us equals to, because you know that 100 kobo makes 1 naira. Now 1,000 kobo, divide 1,000 by 100 gives us 10 naira. This is the amount that we make if we buy 20 shares, 50 shares, and the profit is 20 kobo. Now, this has been solved. The man bought the shares, they sold the shares. The first one wasn't having the money, but he had the money to buy the shares. He bought the shares. The second one had the money, but wanted to know how many shares he was going to buy. He discovered that you can buy 3,000 shares with 1,500. Now the third one says, I have the money. I want to buy the shares. If a profit on each of the shares costs 20 kobo, if I buy 50 kobo or 50 shares, how much will be my gain? Each share, the profit on each share is what? 20 kobo. Now, if you buy 50 kobo, we will multiply the number of shares by the profit on it, which is 20 times 50 gives us 1,000 kobo. Now, converting 1,000 kobo to naira, we know that each 1,000, each 100 naira has, each 1 naira has 100 kobo. So, divide the 1,000 kobo by 100 kobo, it gives us 10 naira. Now, they have sold the shares. It was time for them to share the dividends. The first person said, okay, we agree that after you have finished selling the whole thing, whatever I have or whatever is being made will be shared based on percentage. Now, let us share the money. The first person that bought only one share went home with his 20 kobo, because the profit on each share bought will be only 20 kobo. That is why the second person that said, okay, I want to buy 50 shares, bought his 50 shares, and they gave him 10 naira. That is 1,000 kobo. He took it home. So the profit will be shared based on percentage. And what is that percentage? It's not how long you bought the share in this case, because it's a stipulated time. The profit comes based on how many shares you bought, which is what? The dividends. The benefit that comes after taking risk to do business. That's dividends. Now we'll talk about tax. You know, this very man that was doing this pen production, the area he was using was motorable. He never had an overhead tank. He never generated light on his own. The security of that place was everybody's business, not only his own business. So there are certain things that when you set up a business somewhere, different people will come. Sometimes someone will come, you okay, buy a summer bag, They will pack all the dirt and dump them somewhere where there's stipulated places. EDC will supply light. You have to pay the light bill, either estimated or uh, pay as you go bill. Security will come. The water that you have, you don't buy it, you don't produce water, you supply water to you. So that is where tax comes in. And this tax is being removed from a particular amount given to someone based on the amenities that the government have been able to provide for this person. Now, miscarriage works in an organization where she is paid ₦10,000 monthly, or per annum rather. Not that Caris is working where they pay her ₦10,000, but sometimes, when I was small, my dad would go to work every day and come back. He would not come back with anything. So there was a day my mom said, sir, but as you are going out now, you are supposed to come back with something. My dad said, we are paid monthly. So as it is, at the end of the month, government will pay us money. At the end of the month, when they paid this man, I started paying this man ₦10,000. The man was like, he was flying on top of the air. Because then, money was still having value more than it is now. So, if Ms. Harris works in an organization where she is paid ₦10,000 per annum, she is given a tax-free percentage. If she is given tax-free percentage of ₦2,500, calculate her tax percentage as follows. 1, 10% on the first 1,000, okay, the first 2,000. 2, 15% on the second ₦2,000. 3, 20% on the third ₦2,000, and 4, 25% on the remaining amount. Yes, that is how the charges were given. Our first ₦2,000, they paid her 10,000, but the first 2,500 was tax free. That means out of that 2,500, they don't charge her anything on that tax. Now, first of all, we will remove that 2,500 that they did not collect any charge from. We'll say 10,000 naira minus 2,500 gives what? 7,500 naira. So this 7,500 naira is called taxable income. Now let's check how the money was collected. because tax is based on the percentage. They don't charge the same on everything. So since they have given her 2,500 naira tax-free income, now the remaining amount 75. Let's see how much was collected. On the first one, they collected 10%. That means 10% on the first 2,000. That means the 10% of 2,000 naira multiplied by how much was given? Since we remove the first 2,500 naira, the money left with her was 7,500. And that 7,500, like I explained earlier, that is where the government or whoever is collecting tax, the people that are collecting those tax, that is where they lay their hands on. So, which is equal to the first two zeros here goes to these two zeros here. What we have left is 10 all over 1 times 20, which is equals to 10 times 20 is 200 naira. That means 200 naira was collected on the first 2,000 naira. Now, number 2, the second 15%, the charge was charged another 2,000 naira, 15%. That means from this 7,500, we will still remove the second 2,000 naira from inside. Because the first 2,000 naira, the first 2,500 was removed, the second 2,000 naira now they have removed it. So what she has here left is 5,500 naira. Now the second one, they are charging 15% on the second 2,000. Now let's move this second 2,000 naira. %, all over 100 times 2,000. The second amount was given as equal to the first zeros goes over the first zeros. What we have left is 15 times 20, which is equals to, from our calculation, 15 times 20 is what? 300 naira. The second 2,000 naira, they collected 15%, which was 300 naira. Now, the next 2,000 naira, they charged 20%. 20% of 2,000 naira gives equal to the first two zeros goes to the first two zeros. We have 20 times 20, which is equal to 400 naira. That's the third one. Then the fourth one, they've collected from the 2,000 naira, from another 2,000 naira, and that 2,000, that's 6,000 naira. So what she has left is 1,500. And on that 1,500, they collected 25%. That means 25% all over 100 times 1,500, which is equal to the first two zeros go to the first two zeros. So we have 25 times 15, which is equal to 25 multiplied by 15. 5 times 5 is 25, right? 5 carry 2. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 2, 12. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. So 5, 7, 3. That means this one is equal to 375 naira. Now, my own big question comes. At the end of the whole thing, how much did Ms. Kamis pay as a tax on her 7,500 naira in total? Let us see. Therefore, the first that was charged was 200 naira. The second amount was 300 naira. The third amount was 400 naira. The fifth amount was 375. So let's add all this together. 200 plus 300 is 500. 500 plus 400 is 900. And 900 plus 375 naira, that is 1,275 naira. This is the total amount of money that Ms. Kamis was charged on that month. Now, I know we all are struggling today because we want to meet up with that. Whenever you discover that there are charges on your income, will you be angry? I wouldn't say no. I would not even say yes, because some people don't like paying tax. But as a good citizen of this country, you must pay your tax. But they remove it the way you will not pay. And even they will pay you the money. They tell you to go to that office and pay the tax. Some people have been fighting. But they know some people, they don't want people to fight the government. They say, okay, before we pay you, we'll remove the money. So that as we are giving you your money, you will know that you are not owing the government is not owing you. So I would encourage you, as the good citizen of this country, whenever you see deductions in your income, in as much as it's not fraudulent supported, don't bother, because it is being paid. You are paying for the things that are being provided for you by the government in a very cheap rate. So, with what we've done today, I really believe that we all have one or two things we understand from this, which I really believe. If you have any question to ask, I'll be pleased. I'll be so pleased if I hear or receive any question from any of you concerning this. So it will give me an opportunity to explain more of what I'm not able to explain in this class. So like I always tell you, my name is Mr. Michael, I'm a teacher. So just take good care of yourself and stay safe. Bye.